Welcome to On the Apps. I'm Julian Breheny, a comic in New York City. I'm here with...
Robin Richardson, an attorney in New York City, and Julian's wife.
And we are here with...
Brett Druck, a comedian, and their friend.
Best friends and comedians. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, yeah.
Thank you. You said you listened to one before. We just talked about dating, fun, hanging out. We met at Spencer Wright's show, and we came up to started talking about dating, and you had some great insights, I thought, and tips that I really was, because you were on the road a lot, right?
Yeah, I was really out there for a while, so I accrued a lot of maybe useless information now because I took a little hiatus, but I do have a lot of insight. Yeah,
well, I liked what you were saying. There was three things you said which I really liked. But the strategy, not to get right into it, where you said, because Robin makes fun of me for this all the time. I'm known for going on these marathon dates because I don't have the courage to just kiss them or to just go to the next step. And then like 6 hours and then nothing happens and it's like terrible. And then just a waste of time. And then you said your way around that.
Oh yeah, just going for the kiss like as soon as possible.
I think, well, you said 90 minutes to me. I don't know if that was
did I? Oh yeah. Well, yeah, no, not like a psychopath. No, like, hi, nice to meet you, and then just go in. But once you're like, okay, I would say move to a second location. For some reason that feels like a second date.
That's very smart.
Yeah,
it really does feel like a second date, and it also like creates a point where you're like, oh, we could kiss now.
Exactly.
You mean like in transit? Is that what you're saying?
Or like once you're outside.
Yes,
like it's just kind of like
kissing at a bar for some reason is a little bit too, I guess it feels kind of grimy, but kissing on the street feels romantic.
Yeah, especially if you just met them at that bar. It's like the very first time you've met, and like the bartender has been watching you. They know you're on a first date. Like I would feel a little uncomfortable, like being like suddenly just like kissing somebody, even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It would make me feel, a little grimy.
Yeah. So I know how like intuitively out of sync I am with what is the right thing to do.
Julian's like, no, we stay here. We stay in this bar forever.
I get the idea of moving, but I'm like, kissing on the street, you could never. I also don't want to kiss in the bar, but that feels better. But from what I've heard and what Robin said and what you're saying now, the street is the way to go. And when I had that date with Stephanie, when you made fun of me because I got in this cycle where I was like, I can't kiss her until I get her home. And later on she told me, well, I wasn't going to go home with you unless we'd kissed. And it's like paradox.
That was the first date, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had women tell me quite a few times, like, I saw you do stand up and I thought you were really funny, and then it was like, but as soon as you kissed me, I was like, oh, I want to fuck him.
You do.
It was like and the thing is, I was on the road so much that I was in a city each night. I was like, I don't have time to be. I need to sleep, you know? So I'm not going to hang out and talk to you till 3 a.m. So it's like, it was just kind of pragmatic. But it was like, I mean, I'm a decent kisser, so I think that helps. But it was like a ton of women were like, yep, it just forced me to make a decision because I was maybe waffling, like overthinking. And it was just like, oh, yeah. My body is like made up my mind.
Yeah, you can tell a lot from a kiss, and I agree with Stephanie. I would not have wanted to go home, like to bring you to my home, and then discover that you're like an awful kisser or something.
Right.
That's just because then how do you get this man out of your house? It's so much harder.
Because we met during COVID, I did go to your place before we kissed.
That's not why you went to my house before we kissed. We went to my house before we first kissed because you are a coward and you made me kiss you.
I did.
You made
Robin
me
had to do
kiss
it.
you. A second date even.
You're just up against the wall.
I had to straddle this man.
She did.
And you're in your head like,
I don't know
how it's going.
Should I go in for it? I don't know.
It's all true, all correct. The Breheny men are famously cowards. The joke my dad says is you would need basically have like one of those airport people being like, she's ready. The people who like direct the planes to ever have to go. But yeah, so even then, I'm in your house and like, well, maybe she just wants to hang. Maybe that's what it is.
There are some women who are like, I want you to ask me to be kissed, and I want to like take my time, and I want it to be a verb. But I would say the inclination for most women is like, oh, that's sexy and confident.
Yeah, no. I know what I'm meant to do. I know it's good.
Yeah. He likes to play hard to get.
No, but my thing is like, out of a situation, I know what you're meant to do, but even like the way you're sitting at the bar, or how you, like, it's like, how do I get, and then to your point of being, I know you should do it in the street, but if you're at a bar, like somewhere in the corner is better. And sometimes when you walk in, the girl's like, let's sit here, and you're like, that's strategically tough for me. Okay, it's going to be a tough one.
I forgot about those things where you're like, hey, look at this globe I have. Just trying to get them in an easier place to kiss them.
Yeah, you're like,
yeah.
I'm better on, the Seinfeld bit is like a kiss from the left. Is that Seinfeld? He's like, I need to be on the left of the couch. But you also mentioned that idea of if you're in the street, you'll walk ahead of them and then turn around.
Yeah, that was my move.
That's really smart.
Yeah. Because they're like, "Where's he going?" And then they're like, "What?" And then I'm in their face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really smart. Ah. Okay.
Robert's like, my move is to straddle a coward.
Yes, you just got to find a worm and straddle him.
But no, so literally when you said that, I was like,
That's really smart, yeah.
90 minutes in, second location. Would you do that on the way to the second location or after?
Usually on the way to the second, because 90 minutes is 1 or 2 drinks if you're having a good conversation at a bar, and then that's on the.
I mean, by the second location, you want to be like physical. You want to be physical with each other. You want to like take it to the next level of like touching arms and touching legs and like, canoodling.
I mean, ideally, you're doing that in the conversation already. That's like.
Yes, that's true.
That's if you're going to go by the game, that's indicators of interest. So if you're getting that, then it just makes you're taking less of a risk. Where we have to face the rejection of the guests, of course, that's the most brutal part to get over. But when you have somebody going like, oh yeah, you're like, okay, this is feeling a little bit better. Maybe for you, you'll feel like 10% better.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna need. Could you sign a notarized document of intent? No, you're totally right. And it's like that's the other thing can be frustrating. Is some girls are very forthcoming with those indicators, and some are not.
Right.
And then they'll be like, why weren't you interested? I was like, you look like you hated me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were like arms crossed. And then they're like, I'm having fun. I'm like, you did not look like the next day, like I had fun on this date. I'm like, I thought you would never want to see me again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's ideally, the girl's just doing what her job in the situation, which is like, I'm not going to make the move, but I will
show interest.
Yeah, and then you'll do it.
And then you just don't know how many people are like on the spectrum too. Like most people, you can read their nonverbal communication, but some people don't. They're all different. So yeah. I've had that experience too, where you're like, wait, you enjoyed that?
The date afterwards, it's like, oh. Yeah, it's like with crowds when they're like, that was funny. I'm like, tell your face.
Yeah.
I didn't want to laugh. It'd be very embarrassing. No one else was laughing. No. I'm like, okay, fine. No, I love those tips. I think you had, I don't know if you had a different one in there.
I think I also said, well, for me, when I was on the road, it was like the window was like, I think maybe like making the date should be like 3 days before I'm going to be in their city.
So you do the travel Tinder thing, whatever.
Yeah. Because I did 8 states and I said 48 states in 8 months. So I was like,
states,
I was like,
all
at my place.
Basically, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
A little bit of Canada, but so it was. I guess that is the continent. But
were you on the road enough to have an opinion about what cities or states had were easiest for dating?
No, there's no predictability there. I would say there were like things that you notice about different places. It's certainly so I had on my profile, I had cast member on Laughs, which was a TV show that I was on. It was it aired in 13 markets, but it was better than just saying comedian. Mm-hmm. It was appealing. The TV mattered more then. And so that held a lot more weight, I think, in the middle of the country where people were like, whoa, he's like a celebrity or something like that. Yeah. And I would be pretty forthcoming that I'm not a celebrity.
You're like, I am not.
Yeah.
That makes you look more like a celebrity. Oh, no,
it does.
I'm just like you.
It's always funny to me when somebody's like, are you famous? I'm like, by asking me that question, you know the answer.
Exactly. You must be famous. Which state had this is again, you didn't say which one was the easiest, but had the prettiest people, and which one had the least prettiest people?
Or prettiest audience, I guess.
What's that?
Prettiest audience, I guess.
Oh, right, because, that's fair. I'm barely seeing people. But, LA has the most beautiful people, but certainly, also the worst people.
That's always the debate, right?
I've only spent a little time in LA, so I'm biased I'm biased against New York because I'm very affected by smells. So I could see the most attractive person in the world, and then also at the same time get a New York
a waft.
Gutter smell, and be like, that person is disgusting. My brain just does that. So that happens pretty often in New York where I'm like, wow, ew.
Hot garbage girl, yuck.
That person smells like the subway.
Yeah. Why do I smell piss?
Yeah, even if they're across the street, my brain is like, that's them, they did that.
Yeah.
That's such a curse. Well, Robin's affected by smells very much.
It really will pull me out of a romantic situation. So I'm I ask people to wash their dicks. I'm like, just go wash it. Just go wash. I want to put my mouth under.
Here's another tip: baking soda. For bathing your crotch and your armpits.
Really?
It exfoliates, and then there's like when the water touches, you gotta be out of the shower stream, otherwise it'll just dissipate. You rub it on, and then it's insane. Like you would eat off of an ass after. It's like
This is
washed
for
with
smell.
for smell, and I mean it is hygienic. Baking soda is a cleanser, but it's because of the actual chemical structure of it. It's like very, very small things that are slightly abrasive, but then they completely dissipate when water touches them. It's just really, it gets dead skin cells, and it's like, I mean, I've always had to like reapply deodorant like throughout the day. Otherwise, I smell like
I'm
Taco
a sticky
Bell.
person too.
Yeah, and
like Taco Bell, that's delicious though.
well, yeah, it's delicious if it is Taco Bell. So the thing about smell sometimes, like, what
God,
is
I
that?
wish I
Someone's
smelled
like,
like
I
Taco
just
Bell.
ripped ass. You're like, oh, it smelled like great stew before. Now it's disgusting.
It's like Parmesan cheese as well. And you're like, oh no, it's vomit.
Yeah, absolutely.
People shouldn't smell like Taco Bell, just so you know.
I wouldn't mind.
You smell like it a lot. You're eating a lot of Taco Bell. I'm glad you said that. Baking soda, that's the best tip.
I know,
Okay.
I'm going to take that one home. This man is full of great tips.
Yeah, most of my tips are just from being a broke person for a really long time. Baking soda is also very cheap,
Yeah, it is.
so it's a great alternative to body wash and stuff.
You put
Just
it
know-
in your fridge, and it's supposed to suck up smells.
It does.
I
Also,
guess.
if you have stinky shoes, put a little baking soda in there, wear them for an hour, the odor will be all gone.
Well, there's always I'm always a little suspicious of all these. You pay a lot of money for certain products, and ultimately there is like a simpler solution out there. They just didn't get advertised
I think
as well.
baking soda is it. And also, that people say like fragrance is bad for you. It's in most like body wash and stuff like that. This is just
fragrance-free.
like baking soda is
Gentle.
bisodium carbonate or sodium bicarbonate. It's just a simple classic in most cleaning products before the Industrial Revolution, maybe during the Industrial Revolution. It's just healthy. It's in food. It's good.
Yeah, we eat it. It's in cookies.
Do we? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Robert just keeping
Baking.
himself with cookies.
No, I'm going to give me more
I
cookies.
smell like cookies in Taco Bell.
That would be an improvement.
I 100% agree. I've got to finish. So you said, 3 days before you'd send him a message.
Yeah. So if it's like 5 days is probably okay. Anything less than 3 days is like not enough time to process. Sometimes you could do 2 days or maybe even the day of, depending on if somebody's like plans are canceled. But 5 days is too much time to think about to overthink it. And so anything more than that, I would find like people would flake out. 3 days was perfect. It's like, I'm excited about the show. I'm going to see it. I'm going to meet this guy who I think is cute. And then I get to be his date to the show. That's exciting.
So
and
you
then,
would invite them to the show. That would be
Yeah.
the day. Smart.
Yeah. And then also
and
that
it'd be a
helps
comp
with
ticket, right?
that-
Smart.
You'd be a comp ticket. And then I
And
don't
they get to see you a little bit, put
I would-
eyes on you, be like, what's this guy about?
Right. If I was setting up the show, like if I was opening for Hofstetter, who's the comic I open for a lot, so we're setting up cameras, we're there too, I would be like, hey, come, and we're going to be setting up, and then, so just talk to them a little bit, and then they watch the show, and then, I don't know if you know this, but women love it when you're good at something.
Yeah.
So then it was like, I mean, on my end, I was interested in them, so I would have to ask them questions, but they really were like, already like, I like this guy.
Yeah.
So I could go in for the kiss right then.
Did you ever bomb in front of somebody?
I did when I was like first started like featuring and dating. I had some rough sets, and I was like shocked that I still got laid.
Yeah, that would be tough. Like just from your point of view, I don't know if as a woman, it would probably depend upon how you bombed, if that would like really impact my view of a man. But I feel like as the performer, that just like I see how down on himself Julian gets when he has a bad set.
Right.
I can't imagine then having to like go impress somebody who didn't laugh at you.
Right.
But I also
Be like, here's my penis.
I'm sorry, it bombed as well. But I think it would depend the kind of bad set, because I think I've seen people, I saw a guy get broken up with at an open mic. He brought a girl to a mic, and it was like, it was a mic that was often did have audience there, and then he did like the most sexist jokes.
Oh, God.
It was honestly astounding. And the thing is, like, you can do sexist jokes in a way that is funny and people will laugh, and there are comics who can do that.
Yeah.
This guy's was like real. When a sexist joke doesn't get a laugh, it's just sexist.
Just the word.
Right.
Speech.
He's just reading red pill theory.
It's just basically.
Also, I feel like sexism is also just, it's so hacky. I don't know.
It's always how you do it, but yeah.
But yeah, so you got broken up. So the point is that's a particularly bad set. But you can also have ones I've seen people. From my perspective, I'll see a comic I really respect who has jokes I really like, and for whatever reason the audience isn't feeling it. But my friends who come to the show are like, I still think he's good.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Totally, yeah. I would think, so I know some men who like, they actually don't have any problem with getting sympathy laid. Oh. I never felt good about that. And so these times I got laid, I just was like, I was surprised that the woman still wanted to like go out with me. I was like, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much because I was like, I sucked, you know?
Yeah.
But I think there's probably some element of like, if you were funny, but then also you didn't do well, and she's smart enough to recognize like he is funny. Mm-hmm. He's at least self-aware enough. If I were delusional, like I fucking crushed, that probably would be a turnoff, you know?
Yeah. Also, if you had a bad attitude about it, or like angry about it,
it's your fault.
Stupid. You should have laughed louder.
You blew it. You freaking. Yeah. Well, are you going to apologize? Ruining my set.
I give you a comp ticket and you don't even sway the entire crowd in my favor.
It would be funny to go up there. Did you ever think about your material in terms of, I guess if you were trying to do it every show, it'd be different, but I've had times where I'd bring someone to a show, a girl to a show, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to do these 2 jokes that make me look bad.
I generally write jokes that I'm like, it's also clear with my stand-up that these are jokes.
Yeah.
So if somebody was like, okay, well, he dates a lot or something like that, or he's they would also have to be like, oh, well, he also like kicked a Mexican guy out of his own home, like it would be like crazy to be like, oh, these are all real.
Yeah.
And then it would invite some questions sometimes, which always, and I love to nerd out about comedy, so good conversation. But yeah, I never really ran into that problem where I was like, I have to curate my material for the date, and I also think that would kind of be a betrayal to the, no offense, but like to the art, to the integrity of the art form. Like I'm like, I want to do well at my job and have a good set for the sake, and if that also serves the purpose of like getting laid, great. But putting getting laid ahead of like what I'm doing on stage, because stage time is so precious, that just like it wouldn't feel like right to me.
No, of course. I'm not saying you would do like something you would normally do, but when I was doing this, like I have like 20 minutes material I'm working on for that quarter, and I'm like doing a 12-minute set, and I'm like I have to work. Like I'm like, I'll do these 12 jokes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If I was like, oh, there's somebody coming to the show, like, I'm just going to crush. I'm not going to experiment a bunch. I'll do one new joke. But yeah.
I was like, do the joke about me pooping my pants and crying.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's brand new.
Well, I did have one where I brought a girl, and I didn't think about it at all, and I just did a joke about getting an STI test. And halfway through I was like, oh, okay, that was a mistake. Shouldn't have done that.
She just got like stood up and walked out.
But it's also funny because when I do that joke, people are kind of weirded out. I'm like, I'm getting tested.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I like the guys who don't get tested. Those are the clean ones.
I want to roll the dice.
I like the guy who looks at it and just goes by vibe. He's like, nah, I'm pretty sure it's clean. pretty sure I'm good. I love that strategy, and I want to just. It'd be so fun to like be going to a city and already have a date plan, have the show, and then get to go and do that. It'd be like, as opposed to going to a bar afterwards and maybe trying to meet someone.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was I never was like a bar person. I'm also like you do well at a bar. You're a tall guy. You're a good looking guy. I'm not. I'm like, you have to meet me. It's too loud in here. So I was never like I pick up women at a bar. But when dating apps came out, it was great because I also don't want to be like, oh, I'm talking to you and like, oh, I'm married, and then it's like everybody who's on the apps, for the most part, is there for that purpose, and so you're not questioning. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I bet like you get laid from the crowds all the time." Like, no, it's like a couples activity,
That's so true, yeah.
And usually, like if there are single women, they're all there together for a bachelorette party, so they're not like gonna peel off and be like, "I want to go home with this guy." So it's like it was very rare that I would just pick. But when you bring somebody who's already vetted in some way through an app to a show, and then you go and be good at it, then it's great.
No, 100%. I remember Aziz Ansari had a great bit, not a bit, was in his interview where he's like, you must get laid all the time. He's like, nope, I get a lot of dudes asking me to play GameCube with them. It is crazy how girls will never, and this is my experience, even like other comics have been forever, the idea of a girl that's coming up, been forward, I haven't seen that very much. When it has happened, it's like the male comic will go and like talk to a girl afterwards that he thought was pretty, and then maybe something happens.
Oh yeah, well it took me a while to realize that if a woman comes up to you and says, hey, you were really funny,
that's an invitation.
Yes. I was like, okay, well, she started it, so she's got to do the next thing. It was like, no. That's as far as she's going to go as hitting on you. She's waiting for you to go, so what are you doing afterwards? And years of like, oh, fuck.
But
You see like flashes of all the women who are like, you're so funny.
Yeah. But it is funny when I've tried to do that, they go, oh, you're funny, and then I'm like, oh, cool, and then I can tell they're like, whoa, like sometimes they are just saying I'm funny.
Oh, right,
you know,
right.
Sometimes it's like, oh, you, and then they're like, wow.
Well, I usually go like, what's your name?
Yeah.
You know, and do a little bit of that.
Hey,
and then what do
you
you
have sex with me? You think I'm funny now? Wait till we have sex. You have to mount me.
They're like, you're really funny. You're like, Brett taught me.
You gotta lean in.
It was a 90-minute show.
Do you want to come to the street? You want to come to the street with me real quick?
You want to come to the street with me?
Let me get in front of you. No, you're right. More tact than that. Did you ever think that that would be happening when I started getting on stage more?
Yeah. Well, just because you're good looking, and when we first started, you did quite a lot of jokes about being open, which I just feel like is like a kind of an invitation to be like, I'm available and possibly interested. So I did think that you would get more women just coming up and saying you're really funny, and to me that's flirting.
My experience is when I've been in relationships and I've been like, I'm seeing somebody, I get hit on more than when I am saying I'm single and I'm dating.
I think that's...
And I would imagine that it's probably even more with E&M. If somebody's like, oh, this guy's looking to fuck, then it's like,
He would say no, but I think he has has a warped view of like what is.
Have you ever done a set where you just talk about hurts your wife?
Yeah.
And you don't mention E&M?
Yeah, just mostly because I'm like, not for any reason except that I'm working on certain jokes. And if it's a short set, I can't get into that, and it's going to derail it.
Right.
But
And
I definitely have.
You haven't noticed any difference?
No, I think that you're right, it would be more. And then it's kind of funny, because then it's like, you're falling into my trap. No, not really, but they'll come up to me and they're like, oh, yeah. Shame you're married. I'm like, funny story. But when I say I'm E&M on stage, I can never really tell, but even just from a joke writing perspective and what works and what doesn't, especially if I do it early on, people are like turned off. Like maybe because it's not used to it as an idea.
Yeah, culturally people aren't ready for that.
But on top of that, I think the men are like, kind of like, fuck this guy. Like this guy's married.
Greedy?
Yeah, basically. And part of me wants to be like, hey, you can have my wife. Okay, even trade.
You know, you should lean in and you should be like, listen, I'm married. I know some guys in here are probably annoyed, but if it's any consolation, she's really hot.
That helps at all. Yeah. My whole roster, 10.
She's a slut.
She's over there.
She's very easy.
It was awkward for sometimes early on when, Robin would actually come to shows because like I went like, now she's like, skip it. But
he has shows very frequently. Me, yeah.
Yeah,
Rob. But when I was starting, I didn't get a lot of shows. Robin would come to everyone. And now, thankfully, I'm getting booked enough. Robin's like, I don't actually need to be at all.
Yeah, I can't go to everyone anymore, but I used to be.
But I would do a joke about being open, and every now and then somehow it had come up, like someone else had crowd worked Robin and mentioned a comic, and they knew that she was my wife. And then I'm doing this E&M stuff, and everyone's like, I'm like, so I was on the stage with the other girl, and they're like, dude, she's right there. And then they wouldn't laugh at all. They would be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Robin would be laughing.
I think it's funny.
Right.
But would you start, to me now, I think this idea of like taking somebody on a first date to your show is actually a really good idea.
It's great, yeah.
And maybe you should start doing that.
You don't do it at all?
A couple of reasons. Number one is mostly we have a rule about not dating comics, mostly because it just gets confusing. Like I think
that's a good rule.
Yeah, and not on just one because it's been open, but also comics in general. It's like challenging.
Yeah.
My fear is a date will come to the show, and then my friend who has met you will be very uncomfortable. Like my comic friends will come around, and then we'll be hanging out afterwards. And that's happened once or twice with that girl I was seeing, and they were fine, but they were kind of like weirded out, I guess. And I think they felt weird when we were like hanging out afterwards, and the girl was there.
But they know that. Oh, did they not know you're open?
They know that I'm open, but they don't know. Like they still feel weird. I don't know.
But you talk about it enough in your set, and I think yes, culturally, audiences are not ready for that. But I think within comedy, more people are going to be like, I think people are going to be more aware of what E&M is. So if they're weirded out, like, that's probably going to be a rarity, you know? Or they're at least going to be like, oh, what is the deal with that? I don't think they're going to. You're also not if I just met you and then I was like, oh wait, I met his wife, I wouldn't be like, this guy's probably a scumbag. Like you're not giving off like, I'm a huge. There are comics out there who are like, yeah, they just cheat on their wife and they use stand up or whatever. But like you're not giving off that vibe. So I would think you kind of only want to be friends with people who are going to try to give you the benefit of the doubt or ask around first instead of being like, oh, this guy sucks.
Yeah,
Well, that's good.
I think this is in his head because in my experience, anytime I've been with you to comedy shows, like a lot of the times the comedians are just awkward with me in general. They're just kind of awkward.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're just like, they're totally kind.
No, because of E&M or just because you're...
Yeah.
Oh,
just because I'm just
a lot
person.
of comedians don't know how to... You're like, you're not a comic? What? Hair?
Yeah.
Feet? Nice.
So when do you
Was
get
I
up?
funny?
Yeah.
Was I funny? Tell me I'm funny. But I did have a very funny, awkward one the other day. So I went up at Flophouse to their festival, and I'd never been there before. So I didn't know anyone, and I was like, oh, I don't bring a girl to this one. And then she went to the...
Where is it?
This was...
It's
Brooklyn.
Williamsburg.
okay.
Williamsburg, yeah. And
It's kinda new.
It was a very nice room. It's like very indie. And the girl comes, she goes to sit in the actual room, and then their show ended up getting cancelled because some people didn't turn up.
Oh, that's not good for a first
Yeah,
date.
it's
No,
not good.
but that wasn't the problem. It was actually a second date, so that was kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
I was like, do you like it? But she had, so I was chatting to two of the comics, and we were having a laugh about like dating, like challenges and things like that. And saying it's hard to like, basically, how do you talk to a girl this way or whatever? And then she comes out when the show's cancelled. She goes, do you just want to go back to the apartment and have sex? Which had never happened to me in my entire life.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, not that directly. Like,
Oh, yeah,
as in, like,
yeah,
and but it was such comedic timing when I was like talking to the other comics, like,
You're like,
yeah,
it's
am I
so
dating
hard.
right? And she's like, want to have sex? And they were like, you piece of shit, you fucking scab. Dating's not hard for you. You don't get to complain. And I was like, you're right. I will not complain. And I was like, you're blowing my cover here.
Yeah, you really don't get to complain.
No, I don't. I don't. I mean, I talk about myself being a worm, but I do have it so much easier. Just being tall is like...
Being tall
so
is
many
like-
women are
yeah.
very superficial about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I will say it's funny the social aspects of like if you bring an attractive woman to a show as your date, it does do something like the comics. They're like, oh, he's doing well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe it's more for me because I'm not like people aren't like, oh, that guy's a ladies' man. But then I come with a very attractive person. Everybody's like, wow, he's crushing.
This guy is...
He must be a very funny guy.
Yeah.
That's the word, yeah.
It's a great comedian right there.
That would be so mean to go up to someone and be like, you must be funny. And it's like, what?
They did that thing about 28 years later. They shot it all on an iPhone,
yeah.
but then you see like...
Did they really?
Yeah, they did, but then you see all the attachments to it. It just looks like
It's like a real
film camera. It's
oh
like,
my God.
It's like this big, and it goes out like that far, and then there's just like a little iPhone at the end.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
What kind
it's
of lens did they use for that big dong?
Oh, okay. Did you
Wait,
see the movie?
Oh no, I didn't. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
It's
big zombie
it's
dong?
starring a huge zombie dong.
So, I like the fact that, from your perspective,
Yeah.
Robin is just a crazy person. You're like, talk about that dong.
Honestly, I was like, maybe this is a film term.
He's
I don't
just
understand.
running.
It's like a
He's
jib.
running at full tilt. His dick is hitting himself in the knees.
I was actually
like,
chief dong handler on the set.
Best dong electric.
Okay, just so you can know, there was a giant zombie.
there's a giant zombie dong.
They mutate and some of them get massive, and then they're naked, which I guess you would be, and it's a huge penis.
Huge.
Just
Yeah.
flapping around.
The last like 10 years, they've really been like compensating for the fact that there were no dicks on screen in like film and TV, and now I'm like, it's enough. I got it. I've never
disagree.
seen this much vag.
I also don't even need, like, you know, everyone's like, oh, I love that scene in when she uncrosses her legs. What is that?
Oh,
in,
yeah,
Fatal Attraction?
I think
Yeah.
that's right.
Is that
yeah.
it?
I think
don't
so.
know. I've never seen the movie.
I don't
actually.
need, I don't
Me
like it.
either.
We need more
Yeah.
bags on screen. I don't know if we need more dicks on screen. You love dicks on screen.
I love Dick Stem on screen. I don't need to see head.
Dick Stem?
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't really need to see head. I just want the
Oh.
tease of the
Oh yeah, the
stem.
teases.
The
Whenever I
stem.
said a dick pic, I never did head because it's like, ooh, does it go on
Yeah,
forever?
who knows? Who knows?
That's so smart.
Yeah. Just do a little peek. and then
Yeah,
get the
just a little. I
get
think
the
that's
little
sexier.
deep V in there.
Give a little mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What you don't know is it ends right there.
I see a pinch of head, you son of a bitch. That is so. I've never thought of it. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
going.
Well,
Yeah.
that guy was making up for decades of. It wasn't. It was a prosthetic penis.
Oh right,
Yeah.
right. Well, they're doing that a lot too. In White Lotus, they did 2 seasons. They did prosthetic penises.
Interesting.
It's funny that they do that because it's like if you don't know it's prosthetic penis, I still feel like I've seen that actor's penis.
Yes.
Right,
So
right,
like,
right.
if your intention is to not feel vulnerable and have people see your penis, like we all think we saw your penis.
Yeah.
I don't
Right,
think-
right,
But
right.
maybe they have an ugly dick, and that's what they're trying to avoid.
Or,
It
yeah.
could be. But I think for White Lotus, it was more like, I think it's supposed to be probably like thematic, like these are people who are like they just have everything, you know, like they're
Even-
because
so
they're
it's
all
a
ripped
huge
and
dick?
like and a huge dick. I think it was something to do with the story.
Gotcha.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
rich guys in their big penis.
And they're big, famously. That's why they just keep making money. That's why, because they're so proud of their dicks.
You don't make more than $10 million. Yeah. They're like, I'm actually happy. If you make $400 million, you got a fucked up dick. You're like, I gotta keep.
I got something to prove.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, there's something also too about knowing that it's a prosthetic penis where you're like, well, now we know what your maximum could be.
Yeah.
We know you're smaller than that.
Yeah. Up to.
Yeah.
Up to 9.
When I looked up, because I was like, what was with that penis? That's crazy. And also, the guy himself was really big. I think he's like 6'8" or something.
Google it with? Was it what was up with that penis?
Yeah, it was like 28 years later, penis.
I think she asked Alexa,
what was up with that penis?
And the guy was like, he was like, yeah, we use a prosthetic penis. I would have used my own, but I was working with a child actor. And like,
which is also it's also funny because like. So the child actor just sees a fake. Like, it's still...
100%.
You're like, so I wanted to scare them more?
Yeah. Listen, I was chasing a child, so I didn't have my actual dick out. Just a big fake, terrifying fake one.
I love your point. He's like, why would you use mine? It's like, well, we know it's smaller. It can't be big. That's not possible.
Yeah.
But that actor really wanted us to know that he would have used his own dick. He's like, I have a giant zombie dick, guys.
Yeah.
I always laugh, and there's no greater indicator of someone being super insecure when they're like, I have a huge dick.
I have a big one.
Yeah.
You gotta just be like, oh, my dick's tiny. And they're like, oh my God, I bet it's huge.
Also, I've noticed that dudes that insert their height into a conversation, like they're just like, this is all I have going for me.
Yeah.
If it's not
like
even like, if they're like, oh yeah, I'm 6'4", you're like, oh, that's all you got going.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, the funny thing about his drink menu is I am 6'3", so I think it's worth keeping. And a similar one would be money as well, which is like when they're like, well, I'm pulling in this a year, and I'm like, all right.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I'm going to keep having the conversation we were having. But all right, drinks are on you. Great. Love it. There was a story I thought was funny. Sex report card.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I hooked up with somebody who was E&M, and she made a joke about making me a sex report card. And I was like, that's really funny. But then she did send me a sex report card, and it was like in a report card format, and she gave like notes at the end. It was amazing. It was so funny and great.
Did you, were there any surprises?
No, because I was I'm very open about like, I'm not into butt stuff, and I'm not like, I'd say that, if it's like for her, it was like clear we were gonna have sex. So I'm like, so she was just like, Brett excelled here, and here. His only negative mark was that he no butt stuff.
He wouldn't let me peg him. Or he wouldn't peg me.
Yeah.
Needs improvement.
So I knew that was coming, so it was just like a funny twist. Yeah.
Okay, well, so it does seem like she was being positive.
She was being very positive,
If there were legitimate negatives, I'd be like, I would like to talk to the superintendent.
Yeah.
Because I think I have some...
Your mom comes in all mad, like, no, you improved Brett's grade. He worked very hard.
Now we have to go to summer fucking school. Or else he's going to be held back. That would be devastating.
She was really thorough though. Like she had like, she sent me like an Excel sheet. She was like, just if you were curious like how this works, and it was like every possible kink was like yes, no, maybe, sometimes like breathing, breath play, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen these spreadsheets.
But she had been E&M for like I think like 9 years. Or something.
So she said as a joke, but she had done this report card before. Was that clear?
I don't think she had done that before. Okay. I think it came up organically between us, and then she just followed through, which is so sweet, and it was like, it just made me laugh so much.
And those sheets are typically, or I've seen them, but they weren't used as like grades. They were used as like, what are things that you're into that I'm also into? And it's like a way for couples who are like either exploring together or maybe have difficulty talking about what they want to try. A way for them to like make connections on that level. But it's cute that she turned it into like, she's like, instead of pointing yes, no, I'm going to say.
Oh no! I was just saying. I was using that as an indication that like she was very aware and like open about sex in general, and so I was not surprised that her report card was like the only criticism was like a funny thing and everything else was really positive. She was very emotionally intelligent.
That's very nice.
It'd be very rude.
It would be awful, right?
Yeah.
I'd had we said this on the podcast before, but I never sent dick pics, but someone asked for it, so I sent it. And I tried to do like a weird angle. I don't know why. I was messing around. I'd never done one. And it was a weird angle. And she responded back, I don't like that. And she's like, send me another one normal. I was like, no.
Okay, what was the angle? Because the joke that I've made is that you take the picture from your butthole. But what was the actual angle? Like, how did you fuck this up so bad?
I honestly, I think I was obviously trying to make it look as big as possible. Okay, so obviously.
So you did it from the base,
yeah,
like.
I can't even fully remember, but yeah, it was.
From the base, looking up, like.
With me in the mirror.
You have the Empire State Building in the background, and you do forced perspective.
I put a little King Kong on there. It's pretty big. I'm just saying.
A bunch of Japanese people running around.
That would be actually a funny dick pic to be said, even without asking for your
that's super funny.
It's pretty good. I might have to have sex with this guy.
Yeah.
Well, if you send more dick pics, I will say the mystery aspect is like
100%.
Silhouette through the boxers is going to do way more than anything.
That's what I have said. Like in a like a soft sweatpants, like the hard dick, and like maybe you're holding it. Like
it's just funny that like the jokes are different between men and women, and like me wanting the thing, and you've been like, no, just the idea of it.
Yeah, I think most women don't want to see like the skin. We don't want to see your dick skin. We don't want to know what color it is. I don't care. I don't want to know.
Okay. Can I ask? Is that change if you're like jerking off and then you're like just about to come? Because I've noticed that if a woman is like send me dick pic right now, she wants like full frontal.
Really?
Yeah.
Never come to a dick pic ever.
Okay.
No, yeah. Never.
So why do I keep sending them, Robin? Okay. Are you even getting them?
It's for my book club group chat.
Okay, gross. I do find it funny that the sex report card. It's always like as a guy you feel like I want to be good at sex.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of women are something.
Actually, I don't think a lot of guys.
They don't care.
From my experience with women, by doing the bare minimum, I was like a sex god because most dudes are just not. I don't know if they're not comfortable enough to ask questions, or they're not, or they truly don't. I've talked to some of my friends. They're like, yeah, I just don't care.
I will say, I shouldn't have said all guys. Some do, but it is funny. Some guys like, no, I just like fucked them when I came and I left. Like no foreplay, just like bang, bang, bang. And I'm like, oh, and which is fine. I was like, you don't. It's so much more fun when they're having fun.
I don't think my toxic masculinity is like, there's nothing makes me feel more like a man than making a woman come.
I know. And the only time that's bad is when they're like, I don't want to come tonight. I'm like, oh, you're going to come tonight. I'm going to make you come. Okay, that's fine.
Does that ever backfire? Because that could put people in their head.
What?
Yeah.
If you say I'm gonna like, because some women, you know.
I'm saying, I don't say that.
But
I mean, like,
I got you.
But
Okay.
I think, and I have also learned that because then like, they exactly do in their own head, and then like I found the best thing to make a woman finish is when I tell like if I say you can't finish, then they're like, oh, no. As in actually, yeah, being like when it's really obvious that I'm trying, I found that they're turned off somewhat.
Yeah, I always just, which is the truth. I'm just like, listen, if you come, great, but the journey is going to be fun either way. So no pressure, you know. Yeah.
I definitely get in my head about it. If somebody was like, if they made it clear that it was really important for them that I come, I would have to just up front be like, that could be really difficult for me to come with another person. Yeah,
that feels like you're just fucking yourself by saying that. Like, just try to make them come and see if it happens. But as soon as you say like, this is the goal, it's like, you know, some people are on SSRIs. It's harder for them to come. It's like, it's just, that's a bad idea.
Like, I've had a really tough week, Robin. I honestly don't know if I can keep doing this. The only thing that's keep me going forward is the idea that I'm going to make you come tonight. You're like, okay.
Oh God.
I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. You're just like, oh shit. Oh, I can.
Oh, yay.
So good. Very good at sex. But I was saying, let's say most guys, so some guys want to be good at sex. I do find it funny when you see women and they'll be like, here's what you need to do better, or here's what's this. And they're like, oh, girls don't like that. And I'm like, you don't like that.
Yes, 100%.
I'm like, and I'll do whatever you like or don't like. And clearly I misinterpreted, but don't assume. And when it was like, we don't like that, I'm like, some do.
But do you say that, or you just keep it to yourself?
If we're like close and friendly, then I'll be I've actually met, like not while we're doing it, I'm like, well, the other girls did. But afterwards, I'm like, no, it's funny you said that, because maybe talk to your friends, because I know a lot of people do like that. Yeah. But I wouldn't do what you said you've experienced, where guys like, you're gonna like this. Like I said, I don't like that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So we're not doing that.
I don't enjoy getting or receiving oral sex. Like it's fine, but it's just never the thing that gets me off.
Right.
And so many times, guys have just been like, "Oh, you'll like it when I do it." No, you just never had a guy like me. Yeah.
You're like, I've only had guys like you.
But would it also be bad if you like, I don't want to like, when guys go down on me and the guy's like, good, gross, I hate doing it, okay? Fantastic. I don't want to touch you.
Like, I didn't even know that's why we were here. Yuck, I'm not interested. Get me out of here.
But it also shows that those guys are not, either they're not getting laid out or they're not communicating with their partner. Because if you are communicating, you realize so many women are so different. There's certain things that like a lot of women like this, a lot of women like that, but everybody has their own things, and some of them don't really know, but a lot of them do. And so if you're like, oh no, you don't like it, I'm going to prove you wrong. It's like, that's a guy who's not listening or asking questions.
Yeah, and what's the result? I mean, he's going to be like, oh my God, you convinced me.
Right.
You're going to keep going down on me forever.
Well, there has been one instance where I actually came while somebody was going down on me, but they were also fingering me at the same time.
Right.
So and they left that situation being like, I'm the guy, and I was like, whatever, fine. Because you're right, like another woman might really like it. And I'm glad.
Sure.
I'm glad that he's out there giving women oral sex. I'm glad.
Some girls fall for that. I know I had a friend who had just gotten on SSRIs, and he couldn't come very easily, and then he would tell me he like would tell that to the girl when he's getting a blowjob. She's like, oh, you're like, I can do it. Like now it's
that
a
is
challenge.
that is a lot of women, because I can't come from head, and every time I tell a woman that, she's like,
watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, all right, I'm still gonna enjoy it. So
It's such reverse
but
psychology.
after a while, I'm like, listen, I like tap him. I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna come. If you're enjoying this, we can do this as long as you want. But
it is so awkward when you're not going to, and you're like, okay, so that.
Thank
Done.
you. Yeah,
yeah. You can't pretend that you came in their mouth.
You know what's funny? I know I came, like nothing came out. It's like nothing's supposed to come out. What?
Like, what are you talking about?
Have your guys been stuff in? That's bad.
They should see a doctor.
You should. You didn't have that in your mouth. Oh God. Stuff's coming out. That would be a good.
Hilarious.
I guess you could say that you had there's some people who have. What surgery happens where you don't actually ejaculate? I've met people who come and they don't ejaculate.
Oh, not a vasectomy.
I don't know if it was maybe a vasectomy.
I've heard of something like that.
I've met somebody and he was like, just so you know, I don't ejaculate when I come. And I was like, oh, interesting. And he had some sort of, I'm like, good. I hope you don't spit when you talk.
Robin ain't told that. You would say, I think Robin said
I don't like any bodily fluid. I don't like them.
I'm glad you clarified, because I was like, does that mean you think that the cum's going to come out of his mouth now? It's like, it's got to come out somewhere.
That would be so.
Sweating it. He's like,
I don't ejaculate when I come, but boy, do I gleek.
Just a snot rocket might come, actually. Where do you want it?
Oh, nasty.
That is disgusting.
You're right, though. I have had so many women who are like, that's not how you finger a woman. This is how you finger a woman. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, literally, no woman has ever wanted me to finger her like this. I'm like, I'm going to do this because it'll get you off. But I'm like, I'm never going to do it again, because most women would be like, are you trying to give me a pap smear? What is happening?
That would be funny. Like, just so you know, I think something's broken down here.
Yeah.
I've seen more of these than you have, okay? And this one is different. They're like, I want you to go one finger, just poke it in. That's what I want. You're like, okay.
I had a realization a couple of years ago where I was like, because I think a lot of guys have this idea like, oh, if I were gay and I were given a blowjob, I'd be so good at it, right? Because I have a dick. But then I realized, like, I've had really good blowjobs, and I'm like, I don't know what they're doing.
That's true.
I wouldn't actually be able to give a good blowjob because I don't know what's happening down there. I'm just like, oh, that feels good.
What do you mean you don't know what's happening down there?
I don't know exactly what's, like, I can't see everything, so I don't know what's going on inside the mouth.
Like,
I don't
you
know
know if she's,
what
like,
kind of
sucking
suction.
hard,
Yeah, I
or,
don't know
like-
what she's doing with her tongue. I'm just like, that feels really good.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would think like I don't necessarily know what's happening when I'm getting fingered really well.
Right. You can at least with, like, the vagina has so many different parts. You can be like that spot or like up a little lower, but really it's like
We don't have that
with,
but, you don't have that with a penis?
You do a little bit. It's like the head, the shaft, the balls. That's it.
Do you know if it's top side, bottom side?
What are you talking about?
I don't know, like the top of the, or like, you know.
I got both.
Yeah, we got it.
But you can tell, like, oh, she's licking like the underside or the.
Oh, it's kind of hard to tell, I would say.
Yeah, it's not,
Because the whole mouth is
the whole
around
mouth
there.
is over it, yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, so we don't know what's happening. But it's like you get a nice meal, you're like, I don't know how this was made. It's delicious. It's really good. Yeah. You asked me to replicate that meal.
Yeah, I can't do it.
The only thing I think I would, I'm trying to think, like, would I give? I have definitely thought I would. I'm like, I would know.
Next time I'm getting a really good blowjob, I'm going to be like, what are you doing down there?
Yeah. Can you write me some notes? I want to know so I can No, for sure. If I could give a good one.
You're like, what?
Like, just I want to know. I want to know how to give a good one in case someday I have to give one. You know?
When you're a kid, you always do the thing which is like, oh, would you suck a dick for $1 million?
Right.
And it's like,
yeah.
I don't think your blowjob would be worth $1 million. I don't think you could pull off $1 million blowjob.
No.
I mean, there's some stuff I could do well. Like, I would understand, like, the enthusiasm, that
yeah.
aspect, you know, which is a huge component, I think. But yeah, like, actual technique, I don't know what's going on.
In terms of enthusiasm, I think a lot of women don't understand, like, how important that is. And, like, it's also, like, a strange ego thing where, like, what I want ideally is that it's like, she's just obsessed with my penis. Like, she just got poisoned and my penis is the antidote. Like, it's just like, oh, my God, this thing is this is incredible. And, like, most of them don't act that way. I mean, it's like, it's fine. You know, they don't.
There was a long time ago, they used to do like commercials that were banned from TV or something like that. Oh, yeah. And one of them was like a Japanese like ramen commercial, and it was like a woman who was just like slurping and slurping. You couldn't see what she was slurping. It looked like she was giving head, and then it turned out to be ramen. But I always thought, if I got a blowjob like that, that would be awesome, because she seems so into it, you know?
Yeah. When you do there's a moment when I don't know if you had this, but when you get your first blowjob from a girl who actually does really like getting blowjobs. Whereas like a lot of other people, but it's like, oh, like, I mean, do you like it? Whatever. Just be enthusiastic. Although, does enthusiasm matter to you? Not that you like guys going down.
More than anything, like, just having some sort of feedback. Like, I
think that's important for
there
everybody.
There are a lot of men who are like silent fuckers.
No,
and
you gotta
they're silent all the way through. Yeah, you got to give like a moan or a growl.
You don't have to be like, I hate, but just a little grumble. It like goes a long way. Yeah.
Some sort of like just and just to show that you're doing well. There have been multiple times where I've given a blowjob and like looked up and been like, is this good? Like, is this thing on?
Yeah.
Like,
you did do that very 80s comic.
And so just having that, a little bit of feedback. And I also if you can come silently with another person, to me, like, it feels very anticlimactic for me.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I want to feel like, oh, you really enjoyed that. But if you're just like, wait, did you come? And they're like, like,
Well, you also, I remember the first time I told Robin that I would, like, when I was growing up and you first learned about masturbating, you would jerk off in the shower because that's your privacy. And Robin's like, you can jerk off standing up? And because in your mind, you would just collapse.
I would fall down. I would fall down.
I'm pretty sure I could drive a car
standing
up.
Right.
Probably. I could, maybe.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I have a bit of a swerve, but...
You can't drive a car
but
legally at all.
I need to be coming to drive a car, okay? That's the only way I can do it. But yeah, the silent fucking thing is like, I don't know why we do that, but I think it's because like...
I think it's a vulnerability thing.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think... there's not too many... If you truly, I think, as a dude, if you were truly just not thinking at all, you were just like, I'm going to express it, you would make some kind of effeminate sounds. So, but you have to do something. I mean, I think, like, when I'm getting head, I'm like, pretty much the whole time, like, yes. I go like, hell yeah, like, fuck yeah, that feels so good. I'm like kind of repeating that over and over again.
And that's fine. And you don't have to be like, it doesn't have to be that articulate.
Yeah.
To be hot and to like encourage you.
I feel bad repeating. I'm like, but at the same time, if a girl, and there's one thing she's saying that's hot, she can say that again and again and again.
Yeah, with sex, you don't want to be like...
Trying new material.
Yeah. Your vocabulary, you're in a primitive space, you know? Your vocabulary should be very short. It's like, dirty talk is usually, do you like that? Yeah. You know, it's yes or no's. You don't want, like, what do you like about that?
I did once get made fun of when I was an ex, where I gave her a compliment. I was like, I said, okay, now it sounds bad. But I was just like, oh, you have a great silhouette. And she was like, the fuck is that? Tell me I'm hot. Tell me you want to fuck me. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wait, this is in the middle of sex?
No. This was like just when she'd like put an outfit on or something.
Oh, I feel like that's a nice
That's a
compliment,
really
isn't
nice
it?
compliment.
Well, she didn't care. But this is the same one who said she didn't like my dick pic. So you know what? She can take my dick pic was a silhouette, actually. It was just, I just did a kind of like a film noir.
It had a little hat on.
It had a little hat on, and I was like, oh, you're solving a mystery.
Dick Tracy.
Yeah, Dick Tracy, nice.
Very nice.
He was in the car park just giving the tip. Yeah, you're right. The primitive space, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Repeat. But I have times when I'm like, even if I'm not feeling it, I'm like, I do like that, and I want her to know.
Yeah.
So that she'll do it again.
So she'll do it again,
Yeah.
That was good advice I got from this guy Kenneth Play, who's like a sex expert for helping helping women learn how to come with a partner, and then also like giving men tips on how to make women come. And he had said, like, if you enjoy something your partner's doing, like, give them the encouragement of a moan. And, like, that's so much more impactful than being like, I like that, I don't like that. Especially, I don't like that. That's such a hard thing to hear while you're doing something.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. There shouldn't be any criticism.
Yeah.
Afterwards, be like, I think it's always good to do, like, a breakdown, but I'm, like, kind of a nerd in that way. I'll be like, did you like when I did that? What about when I did that? But yeah, during you don't want to be like
I don't like that.
Unless something like hurt, please stop.
Yeah.
I had a lady who was like, she kept putting her heels into the back of my calves while we were doing missionary, and then I was like, hey, that's like stop doing that. And then she kept doing it. And after the third time, I was like, I just stopped having sex with her. And then I like reversed her positions and I did to her. I was like, this is what it feels like. And she's like, oh, sorry.
Oh no.
I was like, I'm sorry, I can't keep moving on when you keep doing this. It's like really taking me out of it. It hurts. I'm not a pain guy.
That would really hurt.
I love how you were like, yeah. What if she was like, I love it? You're like, okay, well, I still don't like it. So it doesn't mean you can do that. Yeah, negative stuff, not ideal. But I love like you breaking it down, talking about it. It's both frustrating when there's some girls who almost find it a turn off, you know. And I'm like, let's have a discussion that they're either too insecure to talk about it, or when I'm like, well, was this good? Was this good? They're like, well, I just want you to know and just do it. You asking me is kind of like ruining this vibe. I would love.
Are you talking about afterwards or before?
Even afterwards, or before.
Afterwards is strange.
Before the next one.
Before, I understand the mystery of it. You want to mostly be on nonverbal communication. You want to experiment, not do anything too hard. See how it's received. See what the feedback is. Hopefully, it's somebody who gives good feedback. I think most women generally will let you know, like, I am enjoying that some way. But then afterwards, that's when you get into the weeds of like it. But that's strange for them to tighten up afterwards.
It just enjoy, because like
they're like, hey, I didn't enjoy that, and I don't want to in the future. by not giving you answers to your question, it's like, what do you accomplish there? It's like, we've already had sex.
Well, yeah, but they're assuming, I mean, afterwards is like, again, it's leading to the next time we might do it. But yeah, I think their idea is just even, I totally get what you're saying before, keeping the mystique and keeping like,
right.
Because I think they want me to be like dominant, and I'm just ravaging them, and I'm just doing exactly what I want. And if I ask them, it's kind of like, oh, so you're just like, kind of nerdy, or it's like, you're not actually just taking me, you're kind of like trying to hit check boxes or something. But I don't like that. I'd much rather talk about it openly, and it's just frustrating, especially like younger girls. I find are like between like 22 to 28 are like don't like talking about it, and then you finally get someone who's close to their 30s or 40s, and they're like, here's exactly what I like.
Right.
And I'm like,
so great.
Well, Robin would send a YouTube tutorial on fingering to people.
Yeah, so fingering. Yeah. It's again Kenneth Play. Shout out to Kenneth Play, but he has a squirting tutorial, and it's on Pornhub, and it's just like how to finger good.
We actually went to a live showing of that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. He actually did a live. The only reason I find this so funny is they had a cheese board. There was like a hangout initially, and then you went downstairs and it was like full nude, like everything, and he was explaining. It was like very graphic.
They had a camera crew. Vice was there.
They had a camera crew.
Cool.
But the point is, before that, I think this was a different time. That was the time we came back for the filming, but. We're all eating this cheese board, then we go downstairs to basically the sex basement, and I look around and Robin has bought the cheese board. She's got a plate full of cheese.
I'd seen the live demonstration.
I understand that, but people are like, put it in there, and you have like a delicately on, and you have like
How many concerns from a smell standpoint?
It was very clean. It was very
Someone getting fingered openly about 3 feet away,
and this person is the intent is to make this person squirt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
And everyone else is watching.
I'm with Julian on this one. This is unhinged.
Yeah, seriously. She had eaten cheese, and then everyone went downstairs. She went back up. She was like,
it was an unattended cheese board. You think I'm not going to go raid that?
Unattended cheese board. Thank you for agreeing.
Insane.
And what made it even funny was part of the reason I went. I was going to go anyway, but Robin had actually. Her previous relationship had ended because he didn't come to
it, yeah.
Because it was proof that he wasn't willing to try and learn to do that stuff. So she was like, made the decision, I'm breaking up with him right now. And then she goes to me, hey, do you want to come to the seminar? I was like, I'll go to the seminar. I'll go to the seminar. And she's like, they got great cheese.
You know what? I watch mostly when I eat at home. I watch TV while I eat, and it's to the point where I'm like, I can't keep watching unless I have more food sometimes. And so I'll pause it and then I'll get myself some more food. So I kind of get where you're at.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
like
I want to
watch fingering without cheese.
A little munch. How am I going to pay attention to this if I don't have a munch?
If I was that woman, and I'm just, she's trying to focus on squirting, and you're like...
Just like crunching crackers.
And you're like... Is the Gouda still here? Ah, no Gouda. Okay. And she's like, is that woman eating cheese?
And charcuterie. All right,
Okay,
it was a very classy affair.
Meat, just in there, just like sweaty cheese. So, sorry, we're bringing it back for more tips.
Yeah,
More tips
I feel like I'm,
No, and I want them. The match rate's pretty good. I do get hindered a lot by having E&M on there, which I do want. I just don't want to deal with it. I've had a few instances where I didn't put it in there, and then I told them later it was a hassle. So match rate's okay.
Okay. This is just theory, but it has worked for me pretty well. Even now, since I've gotten back into dating a little bit, I still notice that I am pretty good with matches. My theory is that the dating apps want you to keep people on the dating apps as much as possible. I think that's actually not refutable. Like, they want people to use it as often as possible. And the best thing you can do is be a user that keeps people on the apps. So when you match with somebody, don't talk to them. Even if it's like, oh, I didn't mean to swipe on them, they're not really my type, or they live in Montana and I don't know why it matched with us, or whatever. Have some conversation. Show it that you are an active user, because nothing makes people want to use the app less than matching with people nobody ever talks to you.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, I always this is probably going above and beyond, but I'm like, be big, especially as a dude, swipe left a lot. Be picky. Because most dudes are just swiping right, right. You show you have like a little bit more value, and that I also will scroll, and I'll make sure I at least scroll to the bottom. Maybe I'm not reading everything on there, but I'm skimming before I swipe. And
for the sake of the algorithm, or so you can actually look and then decide?
I think it's good, but if you're already being picky, then it's going to help you be picky.
Yeah.
But you're also you're just making more meaningful matches that way, and you're showing the app that you're doing that. So I don't know if it's actually tracking whether I'm going down to the bottom of the pages or not, but at least on Hinge, like, I'm usually going to like the last photo. I don't even send messages on Hinge. I just like there, and I do pretty well.
So you don't send messages, just like, because that's always the question: is what do you?
You got to find the balance between like efficiency and like showing that you're a good user. And
I can like really sit on a message for a while and
waste your time.
It takes your head. You really like, oh, this or that, and then you get nothing back, and you're like, what a fucking waste.
I think one of the nice things about the failure of Bumble is that it showed that women, that sending a first message is very hard, and now there's kind of like an understood thing of like, the first message doesn't really matter. Yeah. So I don't. That's just theory again, but I notice I've never, unless something really stands out to me, I never send a first message. Yeah. And then I get a lot of matches on Hinge. So that I would say, be picky as a dude, especially, and be just a good user on the app. Talk to people. Don't ghost anybody. Try to meet up with people quickly. Don't be a pen pal. Try to get people's number as quickly as you can. Switch to text message. I do think the apps notice, like, oh, somebody's getting a number. That's a good sign.
Good.
Yeah, that's all theory, but it's worked very well for me.
No, that makes sense. I just want to circle back to the Bumble thing. It did bring a lot of men, definitely me, so much joy.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, so early on dating apps, you said first message is hard, and you'd say, hey. And you would so often, one, you get nothing back. Mm-hmm. Or you'd get a sassy, like, that's the best you can do. I got one of these the other day. Yeah. I said, hey, and they're like, that's the best you're going to do this time, whatever. And I'm like, then Bumble comes out, and they suck. All they do is say, hey. Yeah. And then it's like, and then the Bumble has now changed, where now women don't send the first message. Is that right?
I don't know.
Bumble was looking into changing that and making it like other apps, because women just weren't
doing
messages.
At one point, I think, when I last had Bumble, you could pay to send a message as a dude.
Oh, that's the
so first message. Yeah.
The funniest thing they do, and actually, so I can't remember, some open mic did a joke on it, but he basically said you can pay to see if they've seen your message. So you send the message, and you don't know, and you pay like $1, and it says, and then he goes, I'm gonna tell you, they saw it. They saw your message. He goes, I bought 10 of these things. I sent them. Everyone they saw.
Brett, do you ever pay for apps? Because Julian is a proponent of paying.
Yeah. I did for a while, especially when I was touring, because it was huge to be able to change my location. That was necessary. But especially, I did it like right when they first introduced Tinder Premium and stuff like that. And there is something about the super likes, those did go a long way. Yeah, like, I think that they make women feel special.
Yeah.
And it's also literally at the top of their likes. I
Yeah,
believe.
Yes.
it makes
Yeah,
it
yeah,
stand out a lot more because
Yeah.
you do just women just get a lot. I think most women get a lot of matches, and a lot of
course.
times it's even be somebody who then you would like them back or something, and they would or even write the first message and then they would just like ghost you or they
Right.
wouldn't show up again or.
Right.
Paying has become kind of more necessary. When I initially brought it in, like the app itself was good and functional, and then the pay was like a bonus. Now, like I think the bare minimum app, there's a lot of limitations on it. Like you can't do a certain number of swipes and this, and so now they've kind of adjusted it. Capitalism wins, and now there's like 3 tiers of Tinder that you can get. You can get like premium, gold, black, or something, and it's like they all get crazy. I think one of them they just give you a woman. And it's like, there you go.
And here is your girlfriend.
$1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I think paying for that is like it's.
Yeah, I haven't paid for them in a while just because they have become so expensive, and I also just haven't been dating that seriously. So yeah.
But then they did become, they're right. They're like $80 for 6 months or something like that. Which
Yeah.
I mean, again, I spend.
I think it's actually even, and they scale the price for your age too. I think it's even more expensive for me. Yeah.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Interesting.
wild.
Yeah, because I remember back when Steve Hofstetter was single, we both like were installing apps at the same time and learning them, and it was like they introduced the premium, and it was like it was charging him more than it was charging me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's not talked
Ageist.
about, but it is literally ageist.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do age. I guess you.
I mean, it's technically against like the New York City human rights laws, but I don't know I don't know how they
This
would
dating
enforce
app is
that.
violating my human rights.
Yeah, this is ageism.
It's interesting that your approach to the algorithm of the app is like such a comics approach in terms of like that's what I think with Instagram. I'm like, oh, here's how I can get my clip more views, and like you apply the same logic, and I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sure
is
the
very
developers
smart.
are like,
Yeah, I mean, it's just an understanding of how apps work and what their goals are, and you want to play to that. It sucks to have to like play games, but it has been pretty effective for me. Like I always say, I'm like I hit way above my weight punch above my weight class in terms of dating, and I think it's because I do stuff like that. Also, another thing is if you should have female friends. So it's very hard to know what are good pictures. Send them 12 pictures and be like, hey, if obviously not a female friend that you like think might have feelings for you or vice versa, but one that you know is platonic, and be like, hey, which of these is like the most attractive for also for what you want? Like, is this like I would want to hook up with this guy, or is this like I want to date this guy? Like what are your 6 best? And I just like I'm building a set. Like I'm like, okay, now I know my strongest pictures.
Yeah, no, how to order. Yeah. I think it's very funny that you said you sent it to a woman, because I've seen women. It's so funny how we can't tell ourselves. And I've seen women show me their dating app profile, and I'm like, you put that photo in there? Are you insane? You look bad. You look ugly in that photo. You're hot. What is this? And they're like, but don't. And they'll be like, but it's a beautiful mamountain. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it was a wonderful day. I'm like, and like it's absurd. And like I remember like even my sister was like, I really like put this photo up for this, and I was like, no, not even for a dating app. She was like, I like this one of the ones I'd taken, and I was like, you look really bad. And I think she had like some insecurity. I don't know what it was. But she was like, oh, I think like in this one, maybe my arm doesn't look the way I want to look. And I was like, yeah, but you look better in this one.
Right.
And then so I think people get in their own head, they have their own thing of like, oh, I like my arms in this. It's like, well, no, but no one's seeing that. It's, as a whole, this photo's better.
Right.
And it's difficult to like judge photos of yourself. It's smart to have somebody else look at it.
Yeah,
That's
and
very
also there's
smart.
stuff that I like as a dude you wouldn't know. Like sometimes you're like, okay, well I'm in a photo with a pretty woman that's like validating, and a lot of women are like, no way. I don't want to know who that. I don't want to figure out who that is. I don't want to compete with the. I don't care if it's your sister or your cousin. They're like, nope, swipe left.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugly women. That's what you need.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Or
I don't
just have
really know.
pictures
But
of women or just you and one woman. I think that is a little bit strange. I haven't come across that very often, and it would instantly make me go like, what is this?
yeah.
What is
So, but I
happening?
mean, it's you don't know, but you just don't know stuff like that as well as what do you look
It's
the
also
best
a
in.
shame though, because like I have so many nice photos of me at weddings and stuff when I'm with like the girlfriend at the time, and then so you have to have like I've seen that they'll put the smiley face over the girl's face or something like that, which also feels weird.
It feels
Yeah,
less
yeah.
weird though than just having a. I mean, I would, because I guess I do understand that most men don't get pictures of themselves, period, at all, for any reason, and a lot of times
Unless
it
they're
is
fishing.
like.
Yeah.
Unless
Well, that's the joke, and it's so true though. It's just like that's the only time you're allowed to ask for a photo.
Is what?
As if
If you're holding a fish, oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
So it's like, I think so. I was like years ago, some woman said that, and I was like, oh yeah, because we're afraid.
Yeah, we don't.
You can't really be like, hey boys. Like, I think now people are more better at toxic masculinity, but certainly it's kind of weird to be like, hey, can you just
take my picture?
And you go to a nice place, and then it's funny because we all want it, and then one guy will break the seal and be like, hey, listen, can you get a photo of me with this backdrop? And Ted's like, I'll give you one as well.
Give me one.
Then everyone's like, all right, let's have a little Tinder photo shoot. But for a long time, it was very like, I remember when I was in high school, if I was like, take a photo, they would just be like, gay.
Right.
This guy's taking photos like a girl.
There's a subreddit where you can like post pictures of your Tinder profile and be like, what am I doing wrong? And it's almost always men, and they're usually like in a small town. And a lot of the times you're just like, honey, you just live in a small town. Like that's just, you don't have a lot of people to choose from. But sometimes they'll just have like themselves in the exact same pose over and over again. Or it'll just be like a selfie in the bathroom or something over and over again. And you were like, oh, you should probably smile in one of your pictures or something.
Right.
Every once in a while, there's actually something wrong with what they've chosen for themselves. But yeah, that's so interesting that you would. You are a very strategic thinker, and I think most people do not think about dating and sex in that way. Like, there's this idea that it's all got to be all fully natural, but I think that this is so smart to think. At
least in the digital age, and I mean, because it's a numbers game for anybody who's using dating apps. I think even more for men, it's a numbers game.
Yep.
I think even for men, it's a numbers game in dating in general. Like, women are always going to be the choosers, and so we just have to face the rejection and move on and let it not mean anything to us. But yeah, especially in the digital age where you're just like you're going through the masses, which means you're going to have to sift through a lot of garbage to find any gold. That you have to be strategic.
Do you have strategies for dealing with rejection?
I mean, the only strategy is just do it a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I tell women all the time, I'm like, you should go out and hit on men. And like my sister, I'm like, you should, and she's like, like she'll text me, she's like, there's a guy, what should I say? And I'm like, well, literally, just, my name's Maria. I really like, you look really familiar. And then have a conversation about why you know somebody. And you don't know them at all.
Of course.
But it just like I think there should be a bit of pride that comes with like going out and putting yourself out there, and then you getting turned down, and you're like, who cares? That person doesn't know me.
Robin got turned down by Jason Mantzoukas.
I did.
And this is back in the day because you loved the comedy scene when you were younger, and he was like, yeah.
He was like, no, gross.
but I do think it's very funny. People always say like, oh, all these beautiful women in New York City are with unattractive men, and the reason is like, if women are only dating men who approach them, then it's like you kind of have a low ceiling, if you know what I mean. Like, someone who think like the hottest guy in the world, depending on how hot you are, they're going to go for someone else. But the amount of women, if you're decent enough looking, you could find the hottest guy at the bar, and like that could be successful. And there are guys who will just go up and hit on women way out of their league, and one of them will say yes, and then they have a hot girlfriend. I think that if you go out planning to meet somebody or to pick up, your goal shouldn't be, I want to pick up somebody. It should be, I want to get rejected 5 times.
I think that's really smart.
And then it's just it feels a lot easier to like just get to be like, okay, that was one. Now there's 2.
That was when I started comedy and I was really nervous and I was doing open mics. I was like, I just want to do 100 open mics. That's just my goal. And because my initial goal was like, I want to do well, and obviously I'm not doing well at the beginning. And then it's like, oh no, but I can do 100 mics. That's no problem. And I guess I can ask 5 girls and get rejected.
Yeah. Why not?
I've seen a lot of people who are doing like rejection therapy where they actually like film themselves like asking a stranger like, hey, will you like hold my weird stuffed animal or something like that, and they're expecting to get rejected, and then usually the clips that you see are the ones where the people are like, yeah, sure, and it turns into like a really fun thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think that's great because I mean, hopefully it's not abused and becomes like a prankish thing, but it was like the ones that I saw, the people seemed genuinely like, I'm doing this, like I got to get over this fear, and then it was like a really nice, like fun thing that it turned into. But it's and they're keeping themselves accountable by making the video and filming it and posting it. Yeah, I do think it's just a matter of like my confidence in my game and dating is just like trying, swinging, missing, and then Bill Burr has a great joke that I'm going to butcher, but he's basically like, when you're single, you're like, don't say this, don't say that, don't see this, and then you're like constantly trying to not say the wrong thing, and then eventually it doesn't work enough that you're like, fuck it, say the first thing that comes to mind, see what happens, and that's when you get laid.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. It is very funny how our bodies are like, the fear you'll get of rejection. It's like the same as if a bear was attacking me. Like neurologically, it's like physiologically, it's like, we're in fight or flight right now because that girl is pretty.
Yeah.
And it's also the classic is girls I wasn't interested in would like me, and girls I was interested in wouldn't like me. And I think it was because of the energy I was putting out, where like I was so chill and relaxed with the girl I wasn't interested in, and then the girl I like, I'm just like, oh, I'm nervous, and I'm in your own head.
Don't you? Isn't there like the flip side of that feeling? Because I get like a getting ready to approach somebody attractive. There is like a nervousness, but it's almost like it's excitement to me, and like there's like it feels a little devious. Like I'm like, haha, I'm gonna go hit on this person.
Right.
Like I don't know. Like it feels like it's the same. Like I do a lot of vandalism.
Okay.
And like it's the same feeling of like I'm gonna write on this wall. I'm gonna put a sticker on this wall.
Yeah.
Like it's the same feeling of like I'm gonna get away with something.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, that sounds thrilling.
Yeah, it's thrilling. And like
I think it's probably less thrilling for dudes because they're like, as approaching a dude, your likelihood to just even get positive attention back, because most men are not getting attention that they don't seek out on their own, is probably like a much higher ratio. We're like most likely going to get rejected. So it's like you have at least some like, ooh, I might get rejected, but I might not. But I probably won't.
Might not, yeah.
And we also might get like meanly. Like I mean, most of the time it's nice, but like the problem is some of them it's like they're mad that you even. I'm not saying it's
Sure,
but it's like you'll never get that. What you'll get is thank you. Sorry, I'm married. Or something like that.
Right.
But you're not going to get like, seriously?
Right.
No,
right,
you're
yeah.
right. You're right.
But most girls, and again, some guys will complain. I'm like, well, you approach them in a really like weird way. Like, so if you're just nice, I think most people will be nice back.
And you might also like just come across somebody who's in a bad mood or like just got just was like I've certainly seen people react meanly towards men. I've also like personally
What's one of the meanest rejections you've ever gotten?
The meanest rejection I've ever gotten?
Yeah. Or maybe one of them.
Jason Mantzoukas telling me he's interested. No.
What was your approach to him?
No, it was you're really funny. I saw you I met him when I saw him in New York, but before I had seen him there, I saw him back when I was in college in Alaska, and I was like, oh, and you came to Alaska, blah blah blah, and he's like, oh, great, and then I asked him if you want to get a drink. I'm like, can I buy you a drink? Somewhere else, and he was like, "Oh no, but thanks for coming to the show."
Oh like, yeah,
but which is totally fine, totally fine. No, but I have seen there have been times where I am very annoyed when like men, especially when I was younger, men who were just way too old for me, would come up and they're like, "Hi, is this seat taken? Can I buy you a drink?" And they're all, they're instantly in your body space. They're not taking no for an answer, and like that is somebody who I would be openly rude to. But most of the time, they glossed right over that. It was never like oh, okay, you don't want to see me, and so I would then ratchet up the rudeness and. But I do think you might come across a woman who like has just dealt with that, and then you approach her and she's oh, again.
That is a real thing. You are like you're working against the lowest common denominator that most women are dealing with, and that's definitely I think in my younger years, it was something I was very frustrated by. I'm like, I wasn't an asshole. Yeah, why am I paying for the price? But also it's like. The more I thought about it, I was like, it just kind of sucks to be a woman. Yeah. So I kind of get why you have to have those walls up.
No, definitely. You're right. You're coming in like, but I'm a good one, I swear.
Yeah.
I'm well, I don't know that, and you're probably not. The other thing that sucks is the people, as you said, who you give this hard rejection to, the assholes don't care about the bad rejections. You know what I mean? They're not even suffering at the hand of the problem they're causing. They're making women be mean and reject hard, and they're like, it rubs right up their back. I saw a Reddit, I think it was like an Am I the Arsehole, and basically the guy was like, so I was hitting on these girls, and then they said I was too old for them, and then I was like, well, how explain that? And then they wouldn't explain what that means, and then they told me to leave, and I said I wouldn't leave unless they explained to me, and then they started singing R. Kelly, and then my friend was like, we should go, and he was like, no, they're being rude, and it's funny. And also singing R. Kelly is so funny.
Yeah,
and that's pretty funny.
But the point being that it's like he didn't care. And he's like, I didn't bother him at all.
At all, yeah.
And he just stuck around and kept going. It is insane.
I wonder how much of that is like, does the guy not care, or is it that at a bar usually they're just idiots and they're oblivious, but sometimes it's a guy who is putting himself out there and then he doesn't know how to be vulnerable, and then he's embarrassed and he just kind of freezes.
And he locks in.
He locks in because he's like, he's just like, he's in like,
he's like, no, I'm going to win.
Moment. Yeah. He's like, I'm embarrassed and I don't know how to back down.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a really good point. And I think a lot of people, dating in general, if you're in an argument, people sometimes won't give the other person a way out.
Yeah.
And I think if you say like, you've been really rude, they're like, well, now if he leaves, he's accepting that he was rude.
Sure.
But if he argues with you, he can prove that he wasn't
he can prove
rude.
that
which is not a redeemable quality by any means, but I do think it is like, it's less of like, I'm a big confident guy, I don't give a fuck about women, and also it's like, I'm an insecure little baby, and I don't know how to be mature about this and take rejection.
Now I'm locked in. I'm gonna have this argument about what is it to be too old.
Yeah, what does it mean? No, I think you're definitely right. I think in general with arguments, it's nice to give someone like, if you do it like, oh, thank you, I might put it. I think what might happen is they might have said that thing initially, and now he was locked in. Whereas if they'd just been like, oh no, or maybe he wouldn't take a no for an answer regardless.
I wonder if he'll hit on really young women ever again. I don't know. Like maybe
the Reddit guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. That sounds like, once they're saying, first of all, I don't believe that post kind of. Like, to put in the R. Kelly, I feel like that's like, that was somebody making a rage bait post because, like, obviously, why would you even admit that? That's so bad. What an L. You know?
I mean, half
it's a hilarious
the
thing.
was almost always fake. And I'm like, or if it's real, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
No. What other tips do you have?
I think I'm sure I do have some more, and I'll write them down for if I come back. But
you should absolutely, at the very least, text them to Julian because he wants them desperately.
You know what? I'll text you one. How often do you guys record?
We try to do once a week.
Once a week? Okay, I'll try to give you one every week, and you can just read it.
No, if you do, I'll do Brett's thing. Here's a tip. We've got 59. It's also like this podcast, by the way, is not real. I'm just using your tips.
I
just bring men up, and Robin makes me do it. She's like, Julian,
get tips.
She's like, it doesn't count as an open if you never fucking get laid. Okay? It's very embarrassing.
Well, I would love to for you to try these and then report back to see if they have done.
Well, the one thing that most excited me, like stuff about approaching people, that wasn't too much of it, but the thing about the second date, the kiss, the walking in front, those are all solutions to problems I face.
Elegant solutions.
Now, you're an emotionally intelligent guy. You obviously like very aware of what's going on. I will caution, like, you have to be good at reading nonverbal communication to anybody out there, because if that kiss is not immediately accepted, you got to feel it, and you got to be, hey, sorry, I just thought it was a vibe, you know. You can't force it.
It's insane to me that when I see
open
these,
your lips.
You'll know if they're into it.
You see these clips online where the guy goes in with a kiss and then the girl like puts her hand out, and I'm like, to even get to that point, you know what I mean? Like, as in, like, if I'm leaning in and you're not immediately
right,
I'm not going to be like, well, I'm going to keep going. Like, I'm like, I've had times where I pull back too soon, and she's like, no, I do want it because they didn't give me such immediate. You're right, you have to read it, and the idea of like continuing, and then have you seen the ones where like the girls like doing this?
Oh no!
And I'm like, you gotta.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in that situation obviously many times, but it always just makes me laugh. I see the head knock and I go, oh, sorry.
No, but I'm saying the head knock is fine.
Yeah.
And I'm saying because you see it and you stop. What I'm saying is the clips. I'm saying when the guy doesn't stop, and then so the girl does this, which is
like
an
getting further and further
then
away.
She has to keep going back, and I'm like, you should have read that immediately.
She's now laying on the ground, like.
No, that is. Trying to think. No, that one I'll definitely use. And I think the matching stuff on the profile will be good.
Second location, very smart. Like, we have one drink here. We want to go to another place. Like, that's such a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know why that. I mean, the transit does, but it does make it feel like a second date. It's also like an adventure.
And you also like. There's a little bit of like a breakup of like, okay, now we're in a new spot. We can have maybe a quieter conversation, a more intimate conversation. Yeah, you could see how they like move. You could get close to them on accident. Yeah, I just think that's such a smart idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to do. I would do second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth locations. Be like, let's go back to your house. She's like, not till you kiss me. I'm like,
I can't kiss you until I'm in your house.
Yeah, what? That's the rules.
You ever kiss somebody and they give you like bird lips, where they're just like
real thin, like hard
imagine,
lips.
Imagine you get back to their place and then that's how they kiss.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck.
You're like, how am I going to fuck this person?
This is the same point about like thinking you're good at sex or having different things you like. There's some, when people say he's a good kisser or a bad kisser, the girls I've kissed where I'm like, I really don't think, I hate the way she's kissing it, but maybe in her mind, she's like, he didn't even do bird lips. Like, what is he like? He had his lips on mine. Like, get those at her.
It's supposed to be, there should be a knocking sound.
There should be a knocking sound. It was gross. And in terms of also like, too much tongue, not enough tongue. It's like when a girl's doing something I don't like, I'm like, well...
You're like, what does she think?
Is that what she... Okay,
does
I guess
like
that's
that?
what she wants. And maybe being good kissing is just reciprocating. I don't know. Like, matching their energy, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you're both like matching the energy, you're just going to kind of converge in the right place.
Somewhere between bird and duck, I guess.
duck is a bird.
I know, but
oh, I see. Yeah.
It's kind of duck face.
Between the.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm aware,
Between
I'm
bird
aware
and just
duck
like
is a bird.
gaping wet hole.
Gaping wet hole. Well, we're going to end on gaping wet hole. That was
You got
my
an episode title.
That was my wife, the lawyer, public defender, public menace, more like it. Thank you so much for
Oh, it was
coming
a
on.
blast. Yeah,
Where can we find
Yeah,
you?
where can we
You
find
can find me at Brett Druck on most social media. You can go to brettdruck.com for shows. I'm going to be touring the U.S. mid-August. Lots of places. I got to update my website, but yeah, check it out.
Hell
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on. We had so much fun, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.